I'm Max Winkelmann, and I'm a data scientist and technical consultant at IAV. In my everyday work, I deal with the data-driven validation of automated vehicles. Hello and welcome to our presentation about IAV Valdivia Sample. When you do have automated systems like autonomous vehicles or robots, there are often countless normative and legal requirements that you have to fulfill. On the other side, you have test setups. The test setups might be simulations, proving grounds, or you might want to drive around in the real world. If you utilize the test setups, you can generate data. In the best case, you can use this data as evidence to show that you fulfill all of these requirements. But this is not an easy task. Usually, your test setups consume quite a number of resources. So you need to be efficient and effective to use the test setups to really generate evidence to prove that you fulfill all of these requirements. And once you have conducted all of these tests, you want to have a traceable way of showing that you indeed fulfill all your requirements. How can we do that? This is where our data-driven validation comes into play. Let's look at a simple example. Here we do have a scenario where an automated vehicle is driving down the road and suddenly a pedestrian is crossing the road. It is not enough to see only once that we achieve successful braking maneuver in this scenario, but we might want to have different conditions regarding the weather, velocities, and maybe sometimes the person is wearing a black t-shirt at night. We need to consider all these variations when we want to generate our evidence and build our safety case. The objective here is to find the challenging scenarios for our system. Now, it is easy to generate millions of variations of this scenario, but it is a hard task to find the ones that are really relevant. Let's look at a typical toolchain. Usually, you do have the test setup, which involves the simulation software and also your system under test. You then also have a test automation so that you can scalably use your simulation software and test the system. Between these two components, you do have a scenario generation module, and you do have a module that calculates the key performance indicators, for example, a time to collision or a minimum distance. However, in this toolchain, there is no intelligence. Now, the intelligence comes in when we bring in IAV Valdivia Sample. You can connect it to your toolchain, and then it helps you to find the relevant scenarios and to analyze your system. In order to connect it, we do have REST APIs, so no matter what toolchain you are using right now, you can easily connect it to the toolchain and make it more efficient. Now, what you gain by adding it to your toolchain is the power of the machine learning algorithms that allow you to identify the relevant scenarios and to identify if maybe your system needs to be better in rainy conditions, or maybe you need to optimize it for higher velocities. With a toolchain like this, you can then identify the relevant scenarios within these millions of variations and have the evidence. So you need an efficient toolchain to really utilize all your test setups in an efficient way and make your system safe. Let's look at a quick summary. With IAV Valdivia Sample, you get a scientifically proven approach that creates traceable decisions in your development process. With its modular architecture, you can connect it to your existing toolchain and then use it more effectively and efficiently. Depending on your data security requirements, you can use it on-premise or in the cloud. To sum up, if you use our service, you have to execute fewer simulations or test cases, which means that you can save computing time and you don't need to order as many licenses of the software that you are using. In the studies that we have conducted, we found that overall you can save up to 80% of the costs. So with IAV Valdivia Sample, we want to gather the data that then serves as evidence for your validation and the regulatory approval of these automated vehicles that you are developing. If you want to know more, for example, how our system works, please scan the QR code or follow the link. Thank you.